shortly afterwards. Is everyone here, Dan? Are you waiting on anyone else? Or can we kick off? Right, okay. For those who don't know me, my name is John Smith, and I'm CEO of this wonderful company, GBRF Class, who are the owners now of about 110 of these locomotives behind us. I was contacted by Richard about a year ago now to ask whether we could do a naming here. And it seemed like a good idea, because we've got our friends from Tarmac over the other side. We've been working at the quarry for, gosh, 5, even 10 years now, Chris, I would think. 8 years. A lot may continue. But we've been working out the quarry for 8 years. And it's one of my favourite places to come up here, actually. The ride down the branch line is fantastic. And I've seen the Embsay railway down there, and it just seemed like a great idea to do a naming ceremony here. A little bit about GBRF Freight. So we, and now I think we may even be the largest rail freight operator in the UK. I started it about 23 years ago. We've started with about 20 of us, working out of East Anglia region originally, and now we've moved up to employ 1,500 people. We have 150 locomotives, and we currently own or lease about 200 wagons. We sectorise what we do, so we work with the big aggregates companies, Tarmac and their like, moving aggregates around the country for construction. We do a lot of deep sea work, moving deep sea containers out of the big ports down on the east and south coasts. We do a lot of rail service, what we call rail services work, which is great fun, where we're operating the Belmont Scotsman up north. We do a lot of charter work. And I think with doing that, I see quite a lot of people here are clearly into their trains. I like trains as well, and having people who manage our timetables, plan all our services, they tend to be enthusiasts, so we tend to pander to that, much to Ian, my production director's irritation. But I think it's great fun, and we do a number of charters. And now I've also taken up to sit on the board of the Settling Carlisle, the trustees that operate the Settling Carlisle, which has been a long passion for me, not least because one of my jobs many years ago was to shut Carlisle Kingwall Depot back in the 80s. I was sent north to carry that out, and that was all on the back of the Settling Carlisle Railway actually closing at the time, and it's great to see it flourishing now as it is your private railway. So enough about GBRF and what we do. You'll see the beast behind us that we're about to name. She was operating in France, actually. We just imported her from France. We bought 11 of these locomotives in, and spent about £600,000 converting them to UK use. The 66 now is a loco that no longer is compliant with emissions rates, so they've all got grandfather rights, so we can continue to use them for as long as they're fit to be used. But we have to move on, and one of the biggest investments GBRF Freight has ever done is in buying some new bi-mode locos. They couldn't make this thing compliant with the new regulations because you have to put loads of emissions kit, which they couldn't squeeze in the locomotive shell with the size of the power unit in there. So we've invested in 30 bi-mode locos being built by Stadler in Valencia. A good place to have locos built, incidentally, if any of you want to go to Valencia. We will be inviting the customers along, right? If you want to come rather than Chris, you'll be more than welcome. I should take our status to enable you to come over. But we've, for these locomotives, are bi-mode in that they have a big diesel in. They have basically 6 axles, so they can put the force down. The diesel locomotive, or the diesel power unit rather, will output as much power as these do, up to about 50 miles an hour. So it's not just about shunting in a marshalling yard somewhere, it's about crossing the Rubicon of the bits that aren't electrified. So I don't see much investment, sadly, in the railways coming forward anytime soon. So these things will do 15, 20 miles and keep time with what these are. Then you stick the pantograph up, as could happen here if we run down from the quarry. Stick the pantograph up, you've got 8,000 horsepower to pull the train, which means you can do longer trains and you can do quicker trains. And we did some timing of one actually on one of our intermodals out of Felixstowe. So about keeps time with these to Ipswich. You stick the pantograph up and it'll knock 20 minutes off the journey time to Stratford if it's on a clear railway. So I see these as being the next generation. These came about when railways was privatised. EWS back then, now DB Cargo, buying a whole raft of them out of Canada. We leached on the back of that, for want of a better description, by building our fleet up. But now it's time to move on and get to the next generation of locos, so that's the key thing we're doing. Anyway, enough of that rubbish. Dan, if you'd like to say a few words, because it's with great pleasure we take this opportunity. We like our relationship. You do need a connection to the main line, mate, so we can at least, we work on that. I'm not sure we've got anyone from there over there, but enough from me. Dan, do you want to say a few words?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Person. I'm the chairman of the Railway. We're very grateful to our GB Rail Freight today for naming one of their locomotives after our wonderful railway. It is, of course, very important to us to foster good working relationships with our neighbours, other heritage railways, and indeed other mainline operators. As John just alluded to, especially those that pass by our front door who would like to work with closer in the future. That is wonderful. That's it, really. Yeah. Thank you all for coming out today. It's an excellent turnout. Nice to see so many familiar faces, and of course, all from Embsy.
Right. So you. Hey. Now there is a story. We have some bits for you. Where's Joanne? You got that? Oh, you got that. So one of them is a broken down car on the So unfortunately, today has been a nightmare, just so everyone knows. So we tell this program Richard was driving about Richard is. This loco was in Doncaster, then got stranded due to what they call an operational issue at Doncaster Station. That managed to catch up time, but in consequence Ian gave me a lift because we weren't sure the passenger trains would be working. About halfway down the M1 we went, oh fuck, have we forgotten the model locomotive because we left it on the shelf, which is Ian's fault. So we then got another chap who works for us, Danny, to pick it up, and he was following us about 20 miles. In about half an hour he goes, I've broken down on the M62. So there is a model loco to come down. But in the meantime, I hope you will take this with our good wishes for the Embsay Bolton Abbey Railway.